Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Hindy. I'm going to do it on Disney, then and now, a character evolution. Disney has been around for many years, and they change with the times. So I'm going to go through a few of the things, specifically with their characters, that have evolved throughout the time. A little bit of background, where it all began. So it starts as a child. Disney loved to draw. When he was a kid, he used to sell his drawings to people. And then he went to school. He applied to high school, specifically for art and photography. He actually dropped out. He's another one of the greats who dropped out of school. Makes you think a little bit. At age 16, he wanted to join the army, but he was too young, so instead he joined the military. He joined the Red Cross in the military, and his ambulance apparently was covered with cartoons. He would just draw all over his ambulance. Then he started a company which went bankrupt. He wanted a fresh start. He moved out to Hollywood. He got married there, and that is where Disney all began. In 1928, he released Steve-O Willie, which was the first animated cartoon that had sound. There were animated cartoons before. It was just coming out. It wasn't done very well. Disney came. He advanced the animation, plus he added sound. So that was the first thing that actually had sound. And his first animated cartoon was Mickey Mouse. Looked very different than what it looks like today. But it was a Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse was also the first character to ever speak in general, not just within Disney, but in general, in the whole film industry. In 1932, the production, sorry about that. The production of Flowers and Trees, which was the first color cartoon, came out, and he won his first Academy Award for that. The Disney company made more than $38 billion in revenue in 2010 alone. As of February 2013, Disney holds the record for the most Academy Award nominations. They were nominated 59 times. This was as of February 2013. At the end of 2013, they got more because of their movie Frozen, which was nominated and they actually won. And they have over 32 Academy Award wins. Disney himself, this is just for the company, Disney himself as a person holds the record for the person who has the most awards also. Then according to Forbes, Disney is number 17 in the world's most valuable brands, and according to Fortune, they're in the Fortune 500, and they're number 66, so it's also part of the Fortune 100 of the top company brands. Everyone knows Disney, right? Who doesn't know Disney? So you go back to the very beginning. It started with Mickey Mouse. He came up with the idea of a mouse because he said, a mouse is this tiny little animal that everyone hates, but they're so cute. And so he came up with the idea. His first drawing was in a shack in his house, back of his house. He just needed an idea. He started drawing. He came up with Mickey Mouse, and that's where it all began. So there are three things specifically that I'm going to go into about Disney, about their evolution. The first thing is Disney princesses, which everyone loves, right? So there are 13 Disney princesses to date, starting with Snow White in 1937 up to Frozen in 2013. And these are all the 13 princesses. And then the last one for Frozen, that has 2 in the movie. So it's many years, and they've gone through quite a number of changes. The first most basic change is in their drawings and how they're drawn. This was the first one ever drawn. And if you look, this was hand-drawn, and you can see it's very basic, right? Her outfit is pretty plain. It has this on it to be fancy. Her hair is just an outline and filled in black. Today, these are the latest characters. They're drawn by hand initially, but they are fully formed on the computer. I read somewhere Elsa's hair had like thousands of, it's made up of just thousands of strands itself. Her cape, if you look really close, it has embroidery on it, so it's very detailed. So just from this, you can tell how much they've changed. Okay, a few changes in their storyline. First one is, in the very beginning, all the Disney characters' stories, they had the princess went from a passive damsel, meaning, Snow White, right? She was forced to run to the forest, her stepmother wanted to kill her simply for being beautiful, and she stumbles upon this house where, a bunch of cute little dwarfs live, but she's their housekeeper. So they go from passive damsel to finding true love. That's how the story ends. That the prince comes in, they find true love's kiss, and that's the end of the story. And today's princesses, they're not really princesses, they're more active heroes finding not true love. It's more, for example, Frozen, the latest movie. They're not damsels at all. One of them runs away because she's so powerful, and she does it on her own accord that she runs away. And her sister, the entire movie is about her sister trying to find her and save her. And in the end, the love is not true love. It's, for example, in Frozen, the love was between two sisters. One of the sisters, Anna, she thought that it was all about true love, and in the end, it was just true love with her sister, and that's what saved the day at the end. They also went from scary to funny. You think about Snow White. There are parts that are scary, right, with her, this scary stepmother, and then she becomes witch and she's forced to run away. Same thing with Sleeping Beauty. Beauty and the Beast, also the Beast is scary, so there are kid movies, but there are scary parts. Today, they're funny. Disney movies are funny more than they are scary. If there's a scene that would normally be scary, they lighten it up and they have comic relief and everything you just laugh through, a lot of movies. The last thing is they went from perfect princesses to women with flaws. Again, Snow White, the reason she had to run away was because she was perfect, because she was the most beautiful in the world. Today, the movies, the women have flaws, they're not perfect. In Frozen, for example, I'm just going to use that because that's the latest one, but the whole storyline is the fact that Elsa had a flaw and she had to control it, and therefore she ran away, and in the end she learned how to control that flaw. So now the storylines are more, here's someone with a flaw and she learns how to overcome that. So it's not just a fairy tale fantasy. The next thing is the princes. I don't know too much about the princes, but just two small things is that, first of all, also their drawings, obviously, but they went from a romantic hero where the sole purpose of the prince in the story was to be the one who saves the day at the end, who saves the day. They come in, find true love's kiss, and that's the end of it. That's all you hear about the prince. As time went on, you start hearing more about the prince. Today, most of them, they're not even real princes. In Frozen, he's not a prince. He's actually an orphan. He was raised by some ogres, some kind of creature. And he was the one in need of help. In the end, he didn't really do much help. More the princess helped him. And they went, same thing, small role to big role, that they came in, their sole purpose was to get everything happy and leave, and now you see them a lot more and there's a much bigger reason for them in the story. The next thing is the animations. The animations went from hand drawings and flip books, which is like where you take a notebook, right, and you draw in the corners, each page is another scene, and then you flip it, and that it looks like it's moving. So that's how they started animations. Today, everything is done with a smartboard drawing, so you draw it on the smartboard, put it onto the computer, and it gets animated on the computer. So for that, I have a short video of that. I think it's really cool. Is an original one. It took 4 days just to do this one scene. Better? Okay. Ignore this. This is my computer.
Extra points for ACDC.
And then I slow it down, and you'll see in the corner there are numbers, because they're flipping pages and they numbered each scene, and that's how it worked. So that was then, in the very beginning, and this is from the latest movie, Frozen. And so he drew that, and then here is how they actually animated. This is that character you just saw. That's like all the mechanics of it. So, that said, everyone knows what Disney is, everyone knows, where it began and the changes. It's a company everyone loves, right, who doesn't know Disney. But it's changed, and it's changed according to the times, and that's one of the things about Disney. They're one of the top companies because their evolution goes with the times, yet there is still the original Disney that everyone loved. When it first came out, everyone loved Disney. It was a fairy tale, it was a family classic, and today, even though it has evolved so much and it's changed, it's still the same. It still has that fairy tale feeling to it, and what everyone loved about it then, no matter how much they changed it, we still love it today as it is. And there's one quote by Disney, Walt Disney, he says, I only hope that we don't lose sight of one thing, that it was all started by a mouse, that everything, it started off with a mouse, and that is part of their marketing strategy, that as much as they change, they do still remember that it was all started by a mouse, and those original beginnings where it began in a little shack someplace, or even on his ambulance with his drawings there. That's where it started, and no matter where they end up, they're still going to end with Mickey Mouse.
Thank you. Excellent.